Boy, Mercury, shooting through every degree. Oh, girl, dancing down those dirty and dusty trails. Take it hip to hip, rock it through the wilderness. Around the world, the trip begins with a kiss. Roam if you want to, roam around the world. Roam if you want to, without wings, without wheels. Roam if you want to, roam around the world. Roam if you want to, without anything but the love we feel. Fly the great big sky, sail the great big sea, kick through continents, busting boundaries. Take it hip to hip, rock it through the wilderness. Around the world, the trip begins with a kiss. Roam if you want to, roam around the world. Roam if you want to, without wings, without wheels. Roam if you want to, roam around the world. Roam if you want to, without anything but the love we feel. Welcome to another horrid, terrible, despicable, utterly exhausted episode of The Apocalypse. Congratulations, by the way, for choosing The Apocalypse. For that is why I am here. Because of your choice. And since you have unwisely chosen The Apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you are in urgent bloody need. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you a bloody gain. Well, it appears today the courts decided to make a feeble attempt at ending Donnie's tariff grift, but just like Charlton Heston once said, from my cold, dead hands. That is the only way Donnie will ever let go of his tariff grift. Remember, class and rules, Donnie said his favorite word, not his son's name, his wife's name, not the word laughter or love. The word tariff, son, he said is his favorite word. That would be indicative of some personal benefit that he reaps, wouldn't you say, Rubes and class? I sure would. Don't worry, the Antichrist will simply move it to his own court that will rule in his favor, called the Supreme Court. Or just ignore the ruling. Or just fire the judge. Or make a few calls to get the judge fired, or investigate it. The only important thing is that in the end, the tariffs will remain, Donnie's grift will remain without ceasing, as the Reich likes to say. Stealing from the good book, the Reich of the Antichrist. Using the words of the good book against you, just like their predecessors, the Nazis of Germany in the 30s. They said they were Christians too. I don't remember Jesus Christ in the story gassing people or promoting the gassing of people. So the Nazis were never Christian, son. Neither are these that you have your name on. I suggest you take it the fuck off. Let us begin. Not much today. Donnie's in hiding. Guess some medical thing that he doesn't want us to know about, just like last time and the time before and the time before that and the time before that, when we haven't seen him in 3 days. And I knew, again, I had a feeling after Monday and Tuesday, because Monday, my God, the amount of abominations, just what was unloaded, the amount of evil. I'm like, wow, that's like a week's worth for this Reich and for Donnie's shitbags. So he does Monday and Tuesday, and we don't see him since. Where's Donnie? Where's Waldo? In orange face. I guess follow the smell of a feces-filled diaper, and you will find Donnie. Again, whenever he disappears for like 3 days like this, I automatically assume medical, and he doesn't want you to know about it. There's a reason he sent thugs to steal his medical records. That is a verified, true story. Yes, he did it. You only do that when you have something to hide. Something big. But Donnie's an old man. Old men get a lot of conditions. It's natural. It's normal. And with Donnie's diet and no exercise and years of cocaine use and all that, he's not looking too good. He's not sounding too good. But don't worry, he'll make it. We will not luck out in that way. Oh, no. Did they luck out in that way in the 30s in Germany? No, son, they didn't. And what you're witnessing is a repeat of that, the modern version. That's all. So don't worry, Donnie will be okay. But let's begin. I don't even know how I got the fuck on that. This is, again, Gavin Newsom, a post from today. Mike Littleman Johnson can't even answer a basic question. Why is Louisiana's homicide rate nearly 4 times higher than California's? Louisiana is a failed state. Of course, he did it in Rube speak. With all the big, caps and all of it. Just like Donnie. And there's a clip of Gavin Newsom pointing out that crime is higher in Louisiana. And Gavin's been doing this all week. He picks a state and he points out that, yeah, your murder rate's higher than ours. Yet you're talking shit. And he just goes state by state. All the senators, local politicians that throw his name out there and his state's name out there. He just posts about the murder rate in their state and the crime rate. And all of them are higher than Gavin's. Isn't that interesting? But the Rubes don't care what actual reality is. They like the game. They like being marks and being lied to. And they like the cruelty. They think it's not going to touch them. It's touched so many already. But not enough. Don't worry, it'll come a knocking on everyone's door, like I always say. So here Gavin is doing it again. He's just pointing out, yo, your murder rate and everything's higher than California. Yet you use me as an example and my state as an example. What about you, Dad? No, Dad, what about you? Fuck you. No, Dad, what about you? Been doing it all week, state by state. Arkansas, Louisiana, just state by state. I don't think Trump wants another election. Again, this is Gavin Newsom. I'm just going to read a statement during a little press thing he did, little interview. And again, if Donnie wasn't in hiding, I'd be talking about him, but he didn't do much today except a few posts. Again, obviously some medical thing they don't want us to know about. No, he's not going to die. We're not going to get that lucky. I'm sorry. We got to ride this wave. That's why I'm yelling every day on camera, because it pisses me the fuck off. I'd rather be focused on, nice things. But this isn't the time for that. For me, at least. Maybe for you it is. Not for me. This is crunch fucking time. So let's continue. I don't think Trump wants another election. Well, he staged a coup last time. That's kind of obvious. Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house exactly. The ballroom's kind of the giveaway. Not that the coup should really be the giveaway, but this guy doesn't believe in free, fair elections. Oh my God. The cheating we will discover in the future if the world lasts that long. I'm afraid to see it. It will be so bad. And he's rigging the next one already. They're, making Republican extra seats in Texas. Now I believe in another state, I can't remember, Missouri. They're just straight up just rigging it now. So we're going to get to a point where every blue state and every red state makes every seat, of their stripe. Every district. It's over, man. All these tit for tat things that are going to go on in the next few years, it's over. I'm sorry. We've been checkmated. The troops are on the streets in D.C. Were you there on January 6th? He tried to light democracy on fire. Well, he staged a literal coup and sat back and withheld help. He tried to light democracy on fire. Now he's doing it in plain sight, and people say, oh, just Trump being Trump, right? That's what people have been saying 10 years, all the way till we've gotten to the point of the camps being built and financed and humans sent there. Are we still overreacting? You think he's joking about 2028? Wake up, you will lose your country. You've already lost it. I applaud Gavin's effort and the effort he will make in the next few years until Donnie arrests him. I applaud it. I like watching him fight. I like seeing someone fight who actually has a voice, people listen to, respect, etc. It's great. But this a Reich, and what did Hitler do? He arrested his political rivals and enemies and liberals in general. When I read you the statement by Stephen Miller today, you'll understand what I'm saying better. So eventually, again, the full facade will drop, and we will be full Reich, and they're just going to show you what they're doing. Not that they haven't already. People just living in denial, that's all. Well, it didn't hit me yet. If you were in the camp, you might have a whole nother perspective on the matter. I imagine you would. About how bad it is. And how bad it's going to get. You will lose your country. I am here to tell you that's why I'm here. One of the reasons. because it's that dire, and to say you've already lost it. That's why I was yelling before the election not to put this guy back in. To anyone that would listen. And millions of other people were doing it as well, online, on TV, other places. Now it's too late, but all the fighters that are going to pop up, Pritzker, Newsom, I respect them. They have good followings. They're good candidates. But what everyone doesn't seem to get, the Reich's already in place. All the sycophants are in place, and they own the military, and the troops are already deployed on DC streets. He will keep them there. They will come in handy for many things. If people want to protest, if people want to descend upon DC in a massive protest. Nope. Troops. When it comes time for him to leave. Nope. Troops. And many other uses. Checkmate. It's over. I applaud Gavin, and it's nice to see people, a few liberals out there that carry some weight. They have a serious following, Pritzker and him. And, I like seeing them fight back. But I know, unfortunately, and that doesn't mean don't fight. That's not what I'm saying. I know this a Reich again, and he's just going to arrest people at a certain point. He's setting the table for it every day more and more. One day he and Stevie are just going to send the boys out. Adolf did it. That's who they're modeling this after. Donald Trump is the leading socialist of our time. Happy Labor Day, America. All hail Chairman Trump. And that's Gavin Newsom again saying that. That's what it looks like. And he's posted a picture of an Axios article. Government will take stakes in more companies, top Trump advisor says. Oh, you mean like Russia? Donnie, Gavin's calling him a socialist. I'm calling Donnie a filthy fucking borscht-eating commie. That's what I'm calling him. Because that's where this is going. He's going to take more and more of these companies. Again, I told all you oligarchs, you rich people out there, and I know some of you heard me. People tend to pay a lot of attention to me for some reason. I don't know why. I told you. He going to take it all. He coming for you. You're the target. You have the money. Don't do it. You did it, though. So now Donnie's taking percentages on top of the tribute and anything else he's going to take from you and has taken. Enjoy that process. And thank you for your attention to this matter. People out here tried to warn you. Do you want your country to be like Russia, mob run, where the mob at the top just takes whatever the fuck they want? They want 100 million from Google. Okay, let's go in their bank account and take it. For the good of, the motherland. For the good of the propaganda effort that they literally paid them for. Think about Vladizino's, eventually I'm just going to take the money back. So no problem. And what the fuck they going to do? That's our country now. And we're going to see that more and more. And again, Donnie's extorting companies for straight percentages now. Tried to warn you. But the suits and ties knew better. Did I ever give this little speech? Do you know what a necktie actually is? I came to this realization I was a very young man. I had reached adulthood. I came to this realization about the necktie. The suit and tie. What is a necktie really? It's a fucking noose. You can literally tighten it around your neck. You could choke the shit out of somebody. People have done it. I realized that a long time ago when I was a very young man. I was like, the necktie is a noose around every man's neck. For who, I wonder? The devil? Who puts it around your neck? I wonder. Government will take Government will take stakes in more companies, top Trump advisor says. I'm very tired. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to even speak sometimes. I'm so tired. That and dehydration. Try saying a coherent sentence when you've got that going on. You're tired and you're dehydrated. Your jaw does not want to work. So again, it's very much like Russia, where they just take whole companies, parts of companies, and, it's for the good of, the communist empire. Meanwhile, Vlad and his buddies just pocket it all. That's all that happens. They pocket it. That's mob rule. And I'm not talking about mob as in majority. I'm talking about mob as in Cosa Nostra, the fucking mob. The Russian version is Vlad, of course. He's head mobster. And, Donnie's slowly, not that slowly, 6-7 months. How far into Russian territory have we gone where the communist dictator is just taking percentages now? Fuck the tribute payments. I want, recurring percentages, motherfucker. To the point the government's now the majority shareholder, which means Donnie's the majority shareholder of Intel. Holy fuck. So yeah, Donnie's a filthy, borscht-eating commie now. Everyone who voted for him voted for communism, be they rich, poor, rube, whatever. And yeah, that's what we got going. And again, modern communism is just where a mobster rules the country and he just takes what he wants. And he uses the label communism as if it's for the good of the nation and the people and all that. And they're going to get a piece. No, they never do. It goes right in the mobster's pocket. Him and his buddies, like Vlad, like Donnie now. So we're Russia. Already are. This is interesting. Gavin Newsom on Vanity Fair with a crown on and honor. Thank you, the American King, Gavin Newsom. I assume this is fake. I just thought it was interesting. It was funny. Newsom reposted it. George Soros, I don't know where this clip was all over the internet today. I don't know if it's recent. It could be. It probably is. I couldn't pin it down. George Soros on Donald Trump, and this is what it looks like. I know Soros on the internet, the Alex Jones crowd, the defamation crowd. Alex Jones, $1 billion defamation, hasn't paid a fucking dime. Would have you believe Soros is omnipresent, sponsors every riot or demonstration. He's just, the devil. That's the way they've painted this guy for decades now. And from what I'm seeing, it ain't Soros doing it. It's Alex Jones and his people doing it. Ushering in the apocalypse, ushering in a white nationalist Reich in the image of Adolf and all that. Alex has always been into that. Alex is a white nationalist. That's simple. So, and again, I didn't see Soros at the Dugin conference in Moscow. I did see Alex Jones. And in fact, he was a featured speaker at the Dugin conference in Moscow several months ago. Mr. Soros was not. President Trump is a con man and the ultimate narcissist who wants the world to revolve around him. When his fantasy of becoming president came true, his narcissism developed a pathological dimension. No, it's always had the pathological dimension. He did get his fantasy come true, the presidency, the ultimate grift. And he ain't ever leaving. So that part's accurate in my opinion, but I agree with what he said. I understand what he's trying to say. Gavin Newsom receives free Canadian Boeing 747. This is not real. It's parody, of course. But hey, why shouldn't Gavin get a plane? What would the Rubes say if someone gifted Gavin a $400 million plane or a $100 million plane? What would the garden variety Rube say about that? Well, they'd say it's a bribe and he's crooked, right? Of course they would. When Donnie does it, well, you know, no, I don't know. He took a $400 million straight the fuck up bribe. And you get the privilege of $1.5 billion, $2 billion, whatever, to fix it up. Are you stupid? Why would you argue in defense of that? It's more than stupidity, but you know what I'm saying. So why not give Gavin a plane? Again, Gavin Newsom posts, and don't worry, they're not all Gavin Newsom posts, but that's what I got right now. In Rube speak, Laura, low ratings, in quotes, Ingram on Fox is a terrible case of Newsom derangement syndrome, NDS. The American people love me. Gavin C. Newsom, America's favorite governor. Fox should cancel Laura immediately. Or face huge consequences, and that's in quotes the word consequences with 4 exclamation points. Thank you, GCN. Mr. Newsom has proclaimed it. Therefore, Laura Low Ratings Ingram should be fired. Caesar Newsom has proclaimed it. Right, Rubes? This is how you people act. How would you feel if Gavin, when he made a phone call, Miss Ingram was gone, she'd get fired? You wouldn't like that, would you? Yet Donnie does that on the regular, excuse me. Yes, Laura Low Ratings Ingram. I remember years ago when I was perusing the internet and kind of learning how it all worked and what was what and who was who, because I spent a while doing that. I would go to Fox News and CNN, the 2 comment sections. And CNN was being trolled relentlessly by Russia, the RNC, just, every nefarious right-wing fucking Nazi group you can think of. We're trolling that comment, and people were debating and yelling at each other, and just, there was activity. Then I would go over to the Fox News comment section. There would be no debate, no replies, comment after comment with very few likes. The whole comment section. You should understand what that means. In other words, one channel had real activity going on, even though half of the activity were trolls and bots. The other one had none. And most of those comments in the comment section were probably bot generated. That's the difference. It makes sense. Fox News is for geriatrics. It always has been. They don't spend a lot of time in comment sections on YouTube. But younger people do. And younger people watched CNN at the time. I'm not talking about teenagers, but younger people than geriatric did. So that's why that comment section would, actually have some activity on the internet and Fox would not. It made perfect sense. Plus, Fox and the right-wing machine puts up fake numbers all day, fake image all day, every day. It's the only way the machine works. Because there ain't enough people into it. Probably because it's of the devil. Here's a big Donnie post. This is about all we saw of him today. One or two posts like this. Talks with Russia, Ukraine continue. And this is another pathetic attempt. Donnie trying to get the Nobel. He's proclaiming a ceasefire proposal that will go nowhere, except Vlad will triple the attack tonight, just to show the world once again that Donnie's the dog and Vlad's the master. So this is kind of pathetic. Talks with Russia, Ukraine continue. The U.S. calls for ideally a 30-day unconditional ceasefire. Hopefully an acceptable ceasefire will be observed, and both countries will be held accountable for respecting the sanctity of these direct negotiations. Who wrote this for him? If the ceasefire is not respected, the U.S. and its partners will impose further sanctions. Thousands of young soldiers are dying on a weekly basis, and everyone should want to stop. I do, and the United States of America does also. As president, I will stay committed to securing peace between Russia and Ukraine, together with the Europeans, and a lasting peace it will be. This ceasefire This ceasefire must ultimately build toward a peace agreement. Well, it's nice that Caesar just proclaims this. Unfortunately, Caesar is Vlad's bitch. Vlad don't take orders from this motherfucker. He takes orders from Vlad, and that's obvious. It can all be done very quickly, and then you can give me my Nobel Peace Prize the next day, right, guys? That's why all this was written, and the only reason. The only reason. It can all be done very quickly, and I will be available on a moment's notice if my services are needed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. What services, jerk off? You being a Russian asset? Because that's all we've been seeing. We saw you roll the red carpet out for our fucking number one enemy, who's killing, hundreds of our members of an allied country a day. Unbelievable, his services. What, holding your hand out for the Nobel Peace Prize? That's a service? Motherfucker? What a fucking joke this is, man. Let me not, I was just about to go on a rant about everything. No, let me stop. Let me just move on to the next thing. Yeah, so he just proclaimed, talks are ongoing and I'm looking for a ceasefire. Yeah, but you're Vlad's bitch. Vlad is not looking for a ceasefire. He's looking to own Ukraine. And he owns Donnie, so we stuck in this for a while. This is Gavin Newsom again, his press office. With his takeover of U.S. companies like Intel this Labor Day, America is praising Chairman Trump, our nation's leading socialist. No, Donnie's a filthy, borscht-eating commie, and so's every MAGA person that voted for him. They voted for straight mob communism, I'll call it. Mobunism. Where the mob just takes whatever the fuck they want. There's no science to it. There's no economic policy. The mob just takes whatever they want. That's Russia. Russia owns this orange bitch. Now it's you. That's your country now. Where the mob takes what it wants. And this mob has the reins of power from the very top. Just like Vlad. That's where you are, son. Stephen Miller, the ghoul who feasts on the bodies of the dead. When I see him, I think of Goebbels reincarnated. Because listen to this line of bullshit. The Democrat Party, first of all, illiterate fucks. It's the Democratic Party. And I know why Miller says it that way, and the people at the top do. It's because it works on the rubes. They hear the word Democrat. They don't like it. But Democratic, that's okay. That's like democracy. But the Democrat Party, you fucking illiterate fools. It's not the Democrat Party. It's the Democratic Party. And all I hear is hillbilly when any of these people that are educated say it. They just dumb the language down. Because that word Democrat has an effect on the rube mind. Dr. Nikki here to tell you, baby. Again, something I've studied many, many years. Human behavior. Just like Bjork says. So that's why people like Stephen Miller says it. He knows it's the Democratic Party. He's saying Democrat for a reason. And they've been doing this for years for a reason. And all I hear is hillbilly when they do it. It's so cringe to me. The Democrat Party as an institution at every level, its judges, its lawyers, its community activists, its politicians, exists to serve these criminal thugs. Remember, Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Trump is ready to help and assist any community that wishes to be liberated from these criminal elements. Again, Donnie is a convicted felon. What criminal elements are we talking about? Can we be rid of the criminal elements in the White House? Mr. Ghoul. No. What did this ghoul, the modern incarnation of fucking Goebbels, just say? All liberals from the highest politician down to the janitor on the street are in league with criminals. Therefore, what is the ghoul Stephen Miller saying? They should be locked up. Again, you know who else demonized liberals to this degree? Adolf Hitler. And then he arrested them. They were the first to be arrested. Liberals in government. This little speech right here, and many other things before this, but this right here tells me, yeah, they're going to do that. Just like Adolf. One day you're going to see a bunch of arrests. Let me read this one more time and think about all the groups. He pretty much ran the whole gamut. The Democrat Party as an institution at every level. Its judges, its lawyers, its community activists. That's the regular citizen on the street. Knocking on doors, whatever. And its politicians exist to serve these criminal thugs. Yeah, they're going to lock liberals up at some point. And Stevie just reminded me that they're going to do that. This speech, I mean, this is just pure propaganda for an agenda in the future, just like Adolf did. Setting the stage again, setting the table again for this idea. What's sad is the Rubes would be fine with it. Where the situation reversed and it was liberals rounding up conservatives and jailing them. Well, they'd have a huge problem with that. But they're hypocrites. They're not like us. For instance, I would have a problem if Joe Biden, just because he didn't like conservatives, went and rounded a bunch of them up and locked them up. And I'm not talking about the J6 people. They were all guilty as fuck. There's footage, for fuck's sake, of their crimes. So I don't consider that a roundup. Those people stormed the fucking Capitol. I'm surprised much worse didn't happen to them. Gotta be fucking kidding me. You know what I'm talking about. What these people are going to do. Because you lost an election. Your guy didn't win once. That's not the real problem. The real problem is you're crooked. If you're down with this, what I'm about to say. You're crooked and you're evil and you're a hypocrite. That's simple. Stephen and the boys just going and locking up liberal politicians for nothing. I know you're cool with it. You don't have to say it. You voted for a convicted felon. I already know. But if you are cool with it, well, you're just them. Because, again, if the situation was reversed, if Obama did any of these things, Joe Biden, you people, again, you'd be smearing shit on the walls. We all know it. But since it's your team doing the persecution, doing the evil, you're cool with it. That's not going to go well for you, son. So one more time, I want to reiterate this before I move on. Stephen's basically saying any liberal person from top government all the way down to the bottom should be locked up. That's literally what he's saying here. They're all in league with criminals and thugs, right? According to the guy who literally works for a convicted felon. Social Security's Chief Data Officer Charles Borges has resigned 3 days after submitting a whistleblower complaint that alleged members of Doge had uploaded the confidential personal info of hundreds of millions of Americans to an insecure cloud server. Yes, high school graduates, college dropouts, startup bros that idolize Leon, whatever you want to call him, they all had access to top secret material and information and your information. All of them. The entire Doge thing. We've got several stories of the Russians coming in 15 minutes after they set up accounts. Doge set up accounts. With the passwords, trying to log in. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Assume every member of Doge has all of your information and a lot of top secret information. Assume they are trying to make money off of it in some way. Because ain't a one of them got a soul, son. Assume the Russians have your information and a lot of top secret information via Doge. And they are trying to use it to further eliminate your country, your empire, and make money. Assume Leon and Peter Thiel and a few others, Donnie as well, have all of your information and all the top secret information. And they are trying to make money off of that right now. I would operate under that assumption. That's the assumption I'm operating under. So every one of these stories about, oh my God, the Social Security info's here, and this info's there, and Doge did this shady thing, and this person got caught stealing info, and Big Balls is being investigated for stealing info. None of it matters. They all already fucking have it. It's already been distributed. Several parties have your shit. Thiel, Leon, definitely. Doge, definitely. The Russians, most likely. Operate under that assumption. I'm not going to go into the details of all these stories every single time because it all adds up to this. Your information and top secret information is out there because of Doge. And people like shady-ass Doge members, Russians, Leon, Greasy Pete, are all trying to make money off of your information that they stole. And assume Doge stole it too. They didn't just do government services and walk away. Assume the Russians stole it too. You know, since they were given the fucking passwords. You fucking marks. And you know who I'm talking to. So one more nail in the coffin and the chief data officer just resigns. That should tell you it's all out there. Again, they got tech bros in the military with the rank of lieutenant colonel now. They got their algorithm and AI running through government systems. They've accessed all the information a long fucking time ago. Checkmate. Never should have let them in the door, son. Now it's too late. Stephen Miller again talking about RFK Jr. And if Stephen Miller is endorsing RFK to this degree, well, I know Steve's a Nazi and into eugenics. So that means Kennedy is really a eugenicist. Listen to Stephen. Secretary Kennedy, one of the world's foremost voices, advocates, and experts on public health. RFK Jr. is an expert on public health. Did you hear me? Is working hard to restore the credibility and the integrity of the CDC as a scientific organization. Secretary Kennedy has been a crown jewel of this administration. So Stevie loves him. That tells me if Stevie's pushing him this hard, then Kennedy is definitely a eugenicist. I already knew that by what he says and does in policy. And remember, Kennedy did say recently, in the past few months, he wants everyone wearing a wearable within 4 years. A wearable, you say. Okay, this is interesting. Again, they're just liquidating everything and passing it out to their friends and keeping the rest, man. They got to keep the rubes in line because when they unveil this, they need the rubes on their side, and I'm sure they will be. They're all... Let me not say that. Never mind. DHS, this is the puppy killer announcing this. This is her account. DHS is awarding $110 million to more than 600 faith-based organizations and nonprofits across the U.S. in the face of violent criminals and radical organizations intent on hurting American communities. The Trump administration is helping houses of worship, schools, and community centers to harden their defense against attacks and protect themselves. I'm going to stop there. You get the gist. $110 million going to faith-based organizations, meaning friends of ours, certain churches, etc. Donnie and the Reich are doing an act that they are the protectors of Christianity and Judaism. They're taking it way over the top. They're going way overboard with it. Why? Because there's a payoff at the end for Donnie. Donnie needs his temple. Donnie needs his moment. The Christian and Jewish community will get him there. Look at Bibi. Already got him in Gaza. You saw the commercial. Go watch it again. That's why the act. When I see things like this and I see how far overboard he's going with the I'm the protector of the Jews, I'm the protector of the Christians, he's the Antichrist, for fuck's sake, doing this act. It's moments like these that it makes me lean towards he knows what he is and who he is. And then there's almost other moments where he just seems like a blubbering idiot. And there's no way he could know what he is and who he is. But this one thing, this act he's doing with Israel, he's trying to be the protector of the Christians, the protector of the Jews. Going way overboard. And let's be honest, this is just a slush fund, this 110, for friends of theirs, different churches, just to keep it all, keep everybody happy. Notice no liberal organizations are getting that money. So it's just a slush fund to give away to whoever they fucking feel like it, or maybe they'll just pocket the whole fucking thing. Who knows? Now, the way she's framing this is to help these faith-based organizations protect from these crazies that go and shoot up the place. And she's trying to say liberals. And the reason this is being unveiled now is because someone just shot up a church service. They're trying to say that person was a transgender. It appears the person was slightly transgender. There's not that much that indicates it. Allegedly, they changed their name to a girl's name at some point. They were born a man. But here's the thing about this transgender. They're not the typical liberal transgender. And if you say, well, every transgender has to be a liberal. No, they don't. What about Caitlyn Jenner? She's MAGA as fuck. Born what? Bruce Jenner? MAGA as fuck. This transgender that's shot up this church service, they were a white supremacist. They were heavy into the Russia shit. Notebooks full of pseudo-English converted into Russian-style lettering, words in part Russian. They had a hefty collection of guns. They had a lot of anti-Jewish rhetoric. Like 6 million wasn't enough or something like that. So they were basically a MAGA transgender. That's what was going on. The Russia stuff, though, when you really look at what this person was writing, the way they were writing it, how much they were into the Russia thing, it makes me think Russia may have financed this person and groomed them to do this. The person obviously wasn't all mentally there. The timing is interesting. What they're into is very strange. And they sure ain't no fucking liberal. Don't let the transgender part fool you. Oh my God, what that person had written down, the way, all the different Russian things, how much they were into Russia, it doesn't feel natural, let's put it that way. So they're trying to use this event. She's trying to kind of mention it, but not mention it. She's trying to point to the evil liberals are coming against the churches. Another thing that will keep the conservatives on the side of the Reich when they frame everything as protection and security, when they frame the going after liberals as they attack our churches and they do this and they do that. Well, no, actually, most of the shooters are right-wing crazies. It's rare when it's a lefty. There have been some, but it's rare. So we're just bribing churches, or we're just handing out money to our friends now. That's what this is, some slush fund for churches. This is the New York Times, a headline today. The threat of COVID has not gone away, but the vaccines that help protect against it will be harder to come by this season after the Trump administration limited eligibility. Why would you do that? Unless you wanted people to die. There's no other logical reason. One more time. Let me get real close when I say this. Every single person in government, from second one, when the COVID vaccine came, when the COVID vaccine came out and all the boosters and all that, they were the first ones to get the shots. Do you hear me? Donnie, Leon, all the people in government. So if they're all the first to get the shots, Rubes, every single one of them, why would they want to keep you from getting the shots? I'll leave you with that. And I suggest you leave your bias, again, outside the door before you answer that question. If every single person in government, including every hardcore MAGA right-winger psycho that you love in government, were first in line to get the shots, and they seem fine, don't they? Why don't they want you to get the shots? And I don't even like vaccines. But there's two facts I know. Again, every single person in government got, even the hardest core mag, they were all scared shitless, despite whatever bullshit they spout over the airwaves in your face about being all anti-vax and this and that, and they're down with you people. No, they ain't down with you people. They were the first to get the shots. Margie Sporkfoot too. Every single one. RFK too. First in line. If they all want it, it must be good, right? Why don't they want you to have it? Because they want you to die. These are Nazis. That's not a joke. Part of the core Nazi beliefs are eugenics. Trump found a way to fuck up Lego because, of course, Lego stopped shipping brick pieces to the U.S. due to Trump's terrible tariff policy. Trump, take Lego. What the hell? That's a weird title. That saying, everything Trump touches dies, that's very true. He touched America. He's touching it right now. Again, just another, thing that normal, everyday people, their children might play with, and now they can't even get it, or the price is going to go way up, or they just won't ship the product here. There's a lot of postal services that ain't even shipping here right now. I'm sure that's going to go over real well. All right, another Gavin Newsom post. How have I done an hour already? Damn, I digress too much. Oh, if you'd like to take a look before I read the masterpiece, Newsom original. I, Gavin C. Newsom, the most successful governor in American history, hereby demand that Canada gift me a big, beautiful plane. I get to keep it after I leave office, if I leave. If their new prime minister, very nice guy but not as handsome as Trudeau, does not send me a plane, California will impose the biggest tariffs he has ever seen, as is my God-given right. Many people are saying Governor Gavin C. Newsom deserves the best plane, even better than Air Force One. I agree. Send the big plane, Prime Minister Carney. I deserve it. Thank you, GCN. I agree. Send it. Jesus Christ, look at the picture of this animal. Look at his eyes. Holy fuck, man. Just look at this fucking thing. Whew. Most of Trump's global tariffs ruled illegal by U.S. appeals court. Yay, right? Big victory for everybody. All the businesses, farmers, right? No. I read this. If it were a paper handed to me, I would have crumbled it up and thrown it in the trash. Because we all know what's going to happen. Donnie's never letting his favorite grift go. His favorite word go, tariff. That's his personal grift. He loves it. He breathes it. It's his favorite word. He said it. So the second I heard about this ruling, which was all over the internet, everybody's like, yay! And I'm like, come on, man. It's either going to go to the Supreme Court, which Donnie owns, and they will rule in his favor. They ain't going to take his favorite toy and grift away. Hell no. Or he'll just ignore the ruling, or he'll fire the judge, or he'll make a phone call so the judge gets fired. That's all, and the tariffs will stay in place. And we'll do this dance again for the however many years we have left with this fucking thing. We'll be tariffs on, tariffs off, these tariffs, those tariffs, because it's a grift for him. A lot of people actually on the internet have been making different Cracker Barrel logos. And this one I found interesting. You're in a cult. And you got Donnie there with his best friend Jeffy next to the barrel. You're in a cult. I like that. It's powerful. It sends a strong message, very strongly. Masterfully done. Okay, only a few more here. Okay, so this is Donnie on the money laundering site. Here's what it looks like. After the ruling against his favorite grift called tariffs. All tariffs are still in effect. That's in all caps. Today, a highly partisan appeals court incorrectly said that our tariffs should be removed, but they know the United States of America will win in the end. If these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country, really, because before the tariffs, it seemed to be humming along just fine. It would make us financially weak, and we have to be strong. The USA will no longer tolerate enormous trade deficits and unfair tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers imposed by other countries, friend or foe, that undermine our manufacturers, farmers, and everyone else. If allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. At the start of this Labor Day weekend, we should all remember my favorite grift. No, he didn't say that. Should all remember that tariffs are the best tool to help our workers. Really? This thing is so evil, he will tell any lie. Just to line his fucking pockets. Because that's all the tariffs are for. Wow. Tariffs are the best tool to help our workers. And tariffs is in all caps, of course. And support companies that produce great made-in-America products. For many years, tariffs were allowed to be used against us by our uncaring and unwise politicians. Now, with the help of the United States Supreme Court, we will use them to benefit our nation, make America rich, strong, and powerful again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he did the first thing I said he would do hours and hours ago. Take it right to the Supreme Court. They're going to gavel that shit. No problem, Donnie. Just don't kill us. Don't jail us, please. The Supreme Court will keep going along till Donnie has him arrested. That's when they'll stop going along because they won't be able to anymore. Anyway, these three comments were all in a row, and I just found that interesting. I didn't open any of them, so these are individual comments in a feed, not linked to each other. Not like when you click on one and you go in the comments section. No, these are just three comments in the feed, all next to each other. Trump wasn't seen in public once today. No public events scheduled for the weekend. Wonder what could make a narcissist of that degree avoid the spotlight that long. Right, Donnie loves the cameras, loves to be the center of attention. I expect he'll just be golfing today and the next 2 days on your dime at his own club, like he usually does. That's what I expect. Donald Trump hasn't been seen publicly in 3 days. The White House press pool didn't see him once today. He has no public events scheduled for Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Where is Donald Trump? And then the next one. Where is Donald Trump? Right. Where's Waldo? Again, every time he disappears like this, I know how Donnie operates. It's most likely a medical thing that he doesn't want anyone to know about. Because it's not normal not to see the president for 3 days. Ever. So that means something's being hidden. No matter who it is. An appeals court has ruled that the majority of President Trump's tariffs are illegal, but delayed enforcement until mid-October, anticipating an appeal to the Supreme Court. So even the judge that ruled against him said, I'm not going to enforce this just yet, Donnie. Because I know you're only going to get it overturned in the Supreme Court anyway, so I don't have to be the bad guy. I can do like what Mitch McConnell does when he votes against something evil, only when he knows the rest of his party will vote for it, and it'll still pass. Same thing here. So we already know what's going to happen. The tariffs will stay in place. The judge didn't even say you have to end them right now. I'm going to give you time to appeal, Donnie, so you can keep your grift. So the Supreme Court will rule in his favor, and the tariffs will continue, and you will lose your business, and farmers will lose their farms, and we will pay higher prices, $21 for shitty Maxwell House coffee. No, it's not shitty. I actually like their coffee. And that's just going to be the reality going forward. No stability, chaos, but again, that's the point. He's the Antichrist. Chaos, division, war, and worship. That's what he is. That's what he's here to do, whether he knows it or not. I don't know. And eventually, people, my final message, he's going to want to give you a gift, a mark, if you will, when that time comes, which I expect to be in the next few years. But, you know, I'm not God. I don't know for sure. Just my best educated guess. You have to say no, no matter what it costs you. That is the only option. The other option is the death of you forever. You don't want that option. So when that time of the mark comes, and it will, you have to say no. Otherwise, it's over for you forever. There's no take-backs, trade-backs, change your mind. Impossible. most important decision of your life. Hopefully you make the right one. And I got to get going. I'm tired as hell. I was tired before I started. As always, people, again, I'll put the PayPal at the top of the comment section when this uploads in 3 hours. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And until the next episode, hopefully we make it that far. Before nuclear war or something. See you next time.